Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone to Sister Wives with Mary Jane K. Today, I'll be giving my commentary on Sister Wives, Season 19, Episode 14, The Truth Will Set You Free. So, before I get into the episode, I want to point out a parallel I noticed today between Cody Brown, Robin Brown, and the character of Michael Scott on The Office. I love The Office. Steve Carell is phenomenal, and Michael Scott has the same big ego, selfishness, lack of self-awareness, immaturity, and victim mentalities that we see in Cody Brown and Robin Brown, although Michael has a few more redeeming qualities. So this holiday season, I'm binging The Office for the millionth time. I love the US version, the British version. It's all gold. All of it. But today I watched a Benihana Christmas episode. And Michael is dating Carol, this real estate broker. And Michael takes it upon himself. He photoshops himself onto the body of her ex-husband in an old family photo with Carol and her kids on a family ski trip as his Christmas card. It's creepy. It's weird. It crosses a million boundaries. And Carol breaks up with Michael. It's the last straw for her. Who does that remind you of on Sister Wives? What does that remind you of on Sister Wives? Do you guys not remember the Bizarro World Creeptown episode where Robin takes an old family photograph of Cody with Christine and her kids, and she takes an old photograph of her kids with her ex-husband, and she has a painting made of a younger Cody from Christine's photo with her kids in her old family photo with Cody in place of the kids' bio dad? How fucked up was that of Robin to do? And we see the character of Michael Scott lacking the exact same self-awareness that Cody and Robin both lack, doing a very similar thing. Except this isn't a hilarious mockumentary filled with comedy gold. This is real life with two people who couldn't be less self-aware if they tried. Michael Scott has so many more redeeming qualities than Cody and Robin, but the parallel jumped out at me today, and I just couldn't help but mention it. So if anyone hasn't heard of The Office, I'm sure everyone loves it. Do yourself a favor, roll a lovely joint, pack a delicious bowl, pour a glass of wine, put The Office on, watch it. You won't regret a second of that hilarious show, and laughing is the best medicine anyone can ask for in this crazy world. Laughter is the antidote to stress. So let's get into this episode. The episode opens in Flagstaff at the Goblin's Lair. Cody is very excited to get Robin alone with him, to go on a date with Robin. He says he likes to connect with this woman, his soulmate, his divine love. So let's hope Cody chooses his words very carefully with the Goblin, because as she stated before, she has trouble finding respect for him now. And I think she's really in the process of losing all respect for Cody. And I think if Cody doesn't appease her, she won't hesitate to throw him all the way under the bus. So Robin explains that with the little kids all at home, she really can't go out on dates with Cody a lot. Now, my question is, what about the nanny? What about the nanny? What does the nanny do? Where the fuck is she? Robin explains her girls are busy with college. Everyone has their routine. There's not a lot of time to spend one-on-one with Cody. Now, Cody really doesn't want Robin to feel the pressure when he takes her out, but you can tell he's obsessed with her. It's creepy, it's weird, and he is chomping at the bit to get her all alone, saying he finally gets her all to himself. In my opinion, Robin probably feels suffocated by all of Cody's love and affection, and in return for all of that love bombing, Cody expects to be coddled and have his ego fed. Cody has a lot to talk about with Robin. He acts like he's such a gentleman. He's getting Robin's chair, fawning all over her. To me, it seems like he's obsessed with her and he wants to have her exclusively all to himself. And it's on a creepy level, on a controlling, possessive, suffocating level because Cody is so insecure, in my opinion. Now, I wonder if Cody's obsession with his divine love match makes her feel suffocated. There are probably times when Robin really feels like she has to manage him like a sixth child of hers, where she has to cater to him and coddle to him just to manage his moods. All Robin probably wants for herself is alone time away from this man she is actively losing respect for. So Robin's daughters want to find a church, Robin's adult daughters who are over 18. And they apparently aren't allowed to go where their heart desires. They have to discuss it with Robin first, and then Robin has to go get approval from Cody. In my opinion, this is crazy. This is controlling. When do these girls get to learn how to make their own choices autonomously, individually, independently by themselves without even consulting their mom as adult women? The ear piercing thing was weird too. At that point, Aurora was 20 and she had to get Cody's permission. She had to discuss it with her mom to get her ears pierced. And she brought Cody, her dad, with her rather than going with her friends like a normal 20-year-old would do. The whole thing seems really controlling and patriarchal and weird. Even the 20-year-old piercing her ears was a discussion with her parents who encouraged her to do it. And Aurora felt like she was getting to make her own decision. And she's 20. She should be living her own life. They did the whole fiasco on the show. In my opinion, they used Aurora as a pawn in that situation to further Cody's narrative of just what a great daddy is, but just to Robin's children, of course. So tonight on Date Night with Robin, Robin wants to talk to Cody about her adult daughters picking churches that suit them. Poke my fucking eyes out. Why the fuck do we give a fuck about what Robin's kids are doing? Nobody gives a fuck. Now, maybe Cody should fuck all the way off. Why is he even being consulted? These girls are adults. It's their choice. Is a condition of them living rent-free under Robin and Cody's roof that Cody and Robin control them and make decisions for them, even though they are already women in adulthood? These girls seem very immature. They seem stunted for their ages. And I wonder truly how many decisions they actually get to make for themselves like normal women their ages without needing to consult mommy and daddy first. They act much younger than they are. The whole thing is weird. Back to Salt Lake, Christine is having an engagement party with David. So Christine didn't have an engagement party when she married Cody. And she finds it weird that in a church that celebrated plural marriage, they don't really celebrate the weddings of plural wives. So Christine wonders if that's because it's part of a society that really operates in secrecy. So then just plural marriages get swept under the rug and it's encouraged to be kept a secret. So Janelle loves how much fun Christine is having with getting married and doing all of the things typically associated with getting married. So Janelle traveled to go to the engagement party and her son Hunter came. Janelle didn't have a party. It wasn't a big deal or part of their tradition to have an engagement party when she married Cody. Hunter loves Christine so much that he traveled to be at Christine's engagement party. And you can tell Christine feels the love. She really appreciates this. She knows the family is messed up, but she thinks it's really important that they do stuff together. So Christine is wearing white to her engagement party and they're serving messy food, tacos, salsa, this, that. So Janelle wonders how it's going to go. And David bets $5 that Christine is going to be a mess by the end of this thing. So Christine points out David loves to push her buttons. And David reminds her so much of McKelty. She feels that McKelty and David are very much alike. And sometimes she feels like she married her daughter. So David's kids and Christine's kids all get along. They've meshed really well. And Christine has a great relationship with David's kids. David has great relationships with Christine's kids. So Christine told her brother once that there was no such thing as love at first sight. She felt that love was something that happens over time. But now she's realizing that it can also be a spark. Christine says she knew she was in love with Cody. She loved him. But how she feels about David is just so much more astronomically deeper. And we learn David has changed his ways after becoming a part of Christine's family. He never shared food before a day in his life, but now he shares his food with Hunter. You can tell all of the kids feel very comfortable with David. I think it's safe to say at the next Brown family wedding for one of the kids, Christine and David won't be the ones relegated to a table tucked away in the back like Kotex and Goblin were at the last wedding. Christine reflects that a crucial thing she learned with David is that he really genuinely wants to be involved with everything. With Cody, she could just tell him after the fact, but David's very different. David really cares, he's invested, and he prefers to be in on the plan, and he is very invested in his wedding, and he feels it's his wedding too, and he's really all about the wedding as much as Christine is. Next, we're back to Parowan with Mary, and Mary is dragging Jen, kicking and screaming, to Vegas to visit with her friend Brandy. Mary wonders if she should visit the cul-de-sac to get closure. I really wonder why these people are gluttons for punishment. I get being sentimental, but Cody dragged himself back to the cul-de-sac to reminisce about what he considered the best time for his family, a beautiful time for he and his family as a plural husband. He called it a beautiful experience, when in reality, Vegas is a time when the shit hit the fan for Mary and Christine's marriages, and Vegas was a time when Cody began not even hiding that he spent most of his time with Robin, that he preferred being there as much as possible to the detriment of his ex-wives and children. He made it clear in Vegas he had a favorite wife. Now, Mary's considering going back to see the cul-de-sac for closure. I would have zero desire to go back to the past or reflect and go back and feel those emotions. I don't think that's necessarily healthy. Everyone has their ways, though. So Jen mentions the first time that Mary referred to Cody as her ex-husband, and for some reason it hit Mary very hard. Mary says she didn't shed any tears, though. She feels she did enough crying over Kotex in the past decade. Mary shed a lot of tears in those years. And Jen mentions the false hope Cody kept giving Mary. Cody was giving Mary a list of demands to meet, saying if she did those things, then they could work on their relationship. And Brandy remembers many misleading conversations Cody had with Mary. Mary adds that Cody had a list for her to complete before they could even start working on their relationship. You know, at that point, Mary should have said, fuck you, and here is my list for you, fuckface. Cody seems to have demands and shifting goalposts for you to jump through before he's even willing to pretend to work with his wives at improving things in these relationships. All while he's just buying time, having these women spin their tails, when in my opinion, he had zero intention of ever working on anything with them. He was just stringing these women along, making them feel like they were the issue, like they weren't good enough, like they were the problem when he's the problem all along. It takes two in a marriage. If my husband whipped out a list for me, I'd be gone, but not before I made a list of everything he lacks for him to improve, just to show how ridiculous that is. These women were kind of stuck in a situation. They were in a plural marriage. They had all these kids that they raised together, this big plural family, and they were stuck. And they gave Cody the ultimate power over them. They didn't want to separate their kids. They didn't want to leave. They were on this reality show. And these women kept trying to play Cody's game because they had the kids. They wanted stability for the kids. They sacrificed for the larger family. And also the faith indoctrinates these women that they should stay. That if it doesn't work, it's their weakness. It's their issues that they need to overcome. And Cody knew that, and he exploited the fuck out of that to his advantage because he's a toxic fuckbag. Now, back in Flagstaff, Cody and Robin are on their date. And Cody says all of their experiences with the rest of the family that has moved on, that brings he and Robin a lot of pain. So tonight, they are just acting like it doesn't exist. And that's, of course, what Cody loves to do. That's what he always does. Ignore it till it's just forgotten and it doesn't have to inconvenience him any longer. Ignore it till it just goes away. So Cody is setting aside that pain and Robin is setting it aside so they can connect with each other on the soulmates date night. So Robin talks to Cody about her adult girls wanting to go to church. Robin tells Cody that her girls, they want to go to church. These are her adult daughters who live in America where they are free to make their own choices as adult women, but they have to go through mommy and daddy first. So Robin tells Cody the girls want to go to church. They want a church community to interact with them. They want to learn. They want to find their religion. They want a spiritual path, a relationship with God, blah, blah, blah. So Robin's adult daughters asked Robin to help them facilitate for them finding a church. And they want Robin to church shop with them as if they're little children. So Cody asks if the girls want both of them to go or just Robin. Now, in my opinion, Cody doesn't trust Robin going to church alone with her girls. Robin met Cody in church, and Robin is miserable. She's crying on the bathroom floor on Christmas Eve. She told Cody she was losing all respect for him. If Robin, as legal wife, finds a richer man, a better man, a more sane, intelligent, better looking man with a bigger wallet than Cody, who she can potentially actually respect, how fast do we think she might throw Cody under the bus? Cody doesn't trust Robin, so now magically he's going to want to go to find his faith too, and he's going to want to go to watch his wife. Now, Cody thinks Robin is the go-to. She's the most comfortable person for his kids to talk to. If they have an issue, they go to speak with her first. So Cody says he does talk religion with his kids. He talks about it all the time, but he knows they are specifically consulting with Robin. It seems to really dent Cody's ego and get under his skin that he wasn't the go-to for Robin's daughters. So Robin tells Cody that she asked her adult daughters if they were interested in their specific church, and Aurora said no. Brianna said probably not. And Cody says their church, and Cody was FLDS, specifically I believe he was AUB, that was made up of excommunicated LDS people. They were part of the LDS, and the FLDS have the doctrine of plural marriage that the LDS denounced. So there was the LDS church and then the FLDS that still practiced the doctrine of plural marriage. And with the FLDS, plural marriage was required by commandment for any of those who want to progress through eternity. So Cody says he wouldn't have a problem with any of his kids choosing plural marriage, even though he would warn them about red flags. Yeah, red flag number 1, don't marry a man with Cody's personality type. Cody wouldn't be too fond of any of his kids going back to their old religion. So Robin goes on that her daughters, and they talk about them like they're little children, but again, these are adult women, that they are finding that it's very hard to find guys to date who have similar values, the values that they have. So Cody has a lot of questions. He has a lot of mixed feelings about this. His first reaction is great. He's glad that his kids want to go on a religious journey. And Cody admits he knows that that would be the right response to have. But Cody admits he has his own phobias of religion and of churches. And Robin knows Cody has this apprehension, and she wonders exactly what Cody is worried about. Cody says he doesn't know what he's worried about, but he just has concerns. I don't even know how this is relevant to the storyline or why the fuck anyone wants to watch this bullshit on the show. So Cody is glad that the girls want to go on this journey, but he has his own anxieties, fears, and struggles, and he knows he has to keep that private because he has to keep from poisoning their experience with his own negativity. So Cody wants to steer the girls clear of any culty churches. Back to Mary in Vegas, Mary reveals that not too long after she moved to Utah and got the spiritual release, Cody asked her why she did it so fast, and he wondered if Mary had a guy on the side waiting. And needless to say, Mary was insulted. Listen, Mary was basically living a lonely life practically as a single woman for over a decade. And she was an empty nester as well. Cody wasn't coming around. He had almost no communication and no relationship with Mary whatsoever. Mary lived like she was a woman living alone, almost like she was single, an empty nester for nearly a decade. And when Mary goes ahead to get the release, Cody wonders, oh, why so fast? when he knows how long he strung her along for, and he recently apologized for that, even though we all know he doesn't mean it. So it's super fucking insulting. Cody knows he strung her along for the past 6 or 8 years. And to suggest, oh, maybe Mary's rushing because she has a man on the side, as if Cody would care. Why would he give a fuck when he hadn't even been with her in over a decade? Mary should have told that man to fuck all the way off a long time ago. So Mary told Cody that he had no interest in having a husband-wife relationship with her, so this was the only option to get the spiritual release. So Mary explains that Cody told her he didn't want to be married to her. He said it 10 million times. So she wonders why she would want to stick around for another 10 years. And at this point, she straight up calls Cody a dumbass. So on the way back from getting the spiritual release, Cody texted Mary, and it was radio silence. Mary would text Cody and hear nothing back, hear nothing back, hear nothing back. But this particular text, Cody called her 20 minutes later. Now, Mary reads the text she sent to Cody, and she says she doesn't know why she goes out of her way to be nice to Cody when he is so flippantly and comfortably talking shit about her. You know, that's a great question. Imagine if Mary treated Cody the way he treated her, and then imagine how much of a victim Cody would make himself over it. One thing I appreciate about Mary is she could easily play the victim here, but she doesn't pity herself or the situation one bit, and she doesn't play the victim. She's moving forward, and I feel like now she really sees through Cody. I have a feeling she isn't going to be biting her tongue very much. So Mary reads this text she sent to Cody after she got the spiritual release. I thought it was nice. I thought it was way more respectful than I would have been. I wouldn't even be sending the text, period. There would be zero communication. Now, it says, "Hi, Cody. Just wanted to follow up from the text I sent a couple weeks ago." And she lets Cody know she had a conversation with the leadership today and the official release was granted. So Mary explains that when she and Cody got married, it was one ceremony that covered the legal and the spiritual marriage. So now she already did the legal divorce, and that was really a mind game on her because she felt like emotionally she was signing away the marriage when she got that legal divorce. You know, Mary sacrificed a lot for Robin and her kids. If Mary had the legal marriage now, she wouldn't need to worry about financially getting her fair share. The way Robin thanked Mary for her sacrifice was telling Mary to burn her old marriage certificate since it just doesn't mean anything. And after Cody and Robin got Mary to give up her legal marriage, Cody ignored Mary once again, and Robin ditched Mary too once she got what she wanted from her. Mary's sacrifice wasn't appreciated. Robin can't even answer Mary's texts. Robin can't even invite Mary inside for a coffee. Maybe, if Mary's lucky, Robin might invite Mary to her outside area to freeze her ass off, even though Mary paid for a significant portion of Robin's current home with her Vegas proceeds. But never mind that. Most of the time, Mary isn't even invited in. So Mary says it was crazy for her, the divorce, because she knew she was sacrificing the legal part of the marriage, but in her mind, she knew the spiritual part of her marriage was still intact. And of course, Cody had given Mary the list of things to improve in herself before he would be willing to work on their relationship as her husband. And of course, Cody strung Mary along. And I don't believe after the catfish incident, Cody would ever consider seriously working things out with Mary. But he still dangled a carrot to keep Mary in and to appease Robin. And that was cruel as fuck to do to Mary. That was unfair to do to Mary. And it shows you the kind of people and the low consciousness Cody and Robin have to allow a woman who sacrificed so much for them to be treated like trash. To allow her sacrifice to go unappreciated. But let's not forget Cody's generosity, the magnanimity of his spirit in suggesting that Mary could always live in the barndominium, stored away with his rusty old discarded tools that he never uses. What a kindness that was. Now, Mary finishes off the text she wrote to Cody by saying that she's brokenhearted that their life came to this, and she says she will always love and respect him, and she thanks Cody for many years of joy. She hopes he will truly have peace now, and she releases him from any responsibility or worry about her. She tells Cody she's got this. In my opinion, Cody treated Mary as less than one would treat their dog. Most family pets get treated with more love, care, dignity, and respect than Cody treated Mary with as the mother of one of his kids, as one of his wives who gave him over 30 years of her life. Cody was intentionally cruel to Mary. He got off on hurting Mary. He got off on shit-talking Mary. And now all he does is bitch about how everyone's shit-talking about him, his poor dented ego. Imagine how Mary felt with all the shit he was talking about her. Cody went out of his way to shit-talk Mary, to disrespect her very publicly. And still, even privately, in this text, Mary took the high road. The funny thing is, Cody keeps saying he wants loyalty. He wants loyalty. No one was more loyal than Mary to Cody. She stayed even though he burned her time and time again. And if Cody had been willing to work on things, despite how cruel and toxic he was to her, I believe Mary would have stayed if Cody made an effort, even after all that. Cody seems to think that Robin is loyal. Robin isn't loyal. Robin is only ultimately loyal to herself and maybe to her kids, provided they give her full control. Robin gives the impression of obedience, when in reality, she asks Cody's number and she manages the fuck out of him. And the whole world can see it but Cody. Mary was actually genuinely, legitimately loyal to Cody. She was loyal to a fault. And Cody tossed her out like stale, moldy bread. So one day after Robin is done with losing respect for him, when she throws Cody under the bus, Cody's going to look back and he's going to realize he threw actual loyalty away. Loyalty in Mary, sacrifice in Mary, loyalty in Christine, loyalty in Janelle, sacrifice in Janelle, sacrifice in Christine. And he threw it all away, just like Robin chucked her purity. And the one he prized above all the others, the one he destroyed his family for, really, he's going to discover she was only ever loyal to herself. What an idiot Cody's going to feel like, all alone, wrinkled and old, not a single ramen noodle left on that head of his. He's going to look at his phone and he's going to try and call these people and nobody's going to answer. He might find more luck calling Jesus, like Christine suggested the kids can do during their family church when they want answers. Mary's laughing with her friends about Cody, and it's good that she can laugh, because if you can laugh, then you're healing. So back in Flagstaff, Doom and Gloom are on their romantic date, talking about Robin's adult daughters attending church. And you can really feel the love in the air between these two. You can really feel that they're soulmates. So they're discussing the religions of their adult daughters, and Cody feels that religion comes with a lot of pressure. And Cody tells Robin he spent a lot of time losing his religion while he has been finding his faith. And Robin says when she met Cody, he was very happy in their church. He was very involved in their church. And Robin adds that she wouldn't have considered marrying Cody if she didn't think he was into their church. And Robin says the family going public, the way their church reacted to that, it really threw Cody off. And it made him feel like, what the hell? Because Cody expected their church to back him, and they didn't. So Christine explains that their church leaders were mad when they went public. Their church family, their friends, everybody in their church, none of them got it. No one got it. They felt they were done living in fear, having other people assume the worst about them just because they were a polygamist family. And they wanted to bring light to this. So people made all these assumptions about them that weren't true, and they wanted to tell them the truth about polygamy, which ended up being the opposite of what they set out to show. So Christine says they really thought everybody in their community would be on board, and they weren't. Mary explains that some of them felt like them going public would just end up being the demise of their family. And Mary chuckles at that. She finds it funny. Of course, in a sense, they were right. Now, Cody says he found that his faith started to contradict the religionist attitudes of the gatekeepers. Cody clashed with the church elders. Now, Cody says his church was really trying to put him in a leadership teaching position, and they asked him to cut his hair, and Cody was like, fuck no. Cody didn't want to do it. He says it wasn't a requirement of his faith. He didn't want to do it. He didn't want to be told to do anything that wasn't required by God and his church. And so his church saw him as a rebel. Let's not forget how ass backwards his church is. If you're black or brown, you're not welcome in Cody's church. So Cody tells Robin he doesn't want to be getting into something that turns out to be culty. Cody's worried he could potentially lose more children over this. He feels you can lose your children to a bad marriage. You can lose your children to huge disagreements. You can lose your children even in a divorce. And he says you can also lose them to a cult. So Cody asks Robin if he is a safe person for her girls. Cody seems really bothered by the fact that they didn't go to him first. And Robin says absolutely her girls think he's safe. So Cody says he's asking Robin because her girls haven't sought him out to have those discussions with him one-on-one. You know, just a thought, maybe the girls know how controlling Cody is and how obedient he expects them to be. So even though Robin is also controlling of her girls, she is still their actual biological parent who they will always feel more safe with. With Cody, they probably have to walk on eggshells. They never know what mood they're going to get. And Cody seems bothered, in my opinion, that he can't influence the girls directly one-on-one with this. He seems very bothered that they didn't consult him and that they only consulted Robin. Let's not forget again that these aren't little children. These are adult women, and they seem out of it half the time. They definitely seem overly sensitive, overly emotional, very fragile, very immature. But if they don't start doing things on their own, making their own decisions, making their own choices in life without consulting mommy and daddy first, if they don't start living their own lives soon, in my opinion, they're just going to keep having the stunted emotional development and maturity they seem to have compared to the rest of the brown kids and most other young adults their ages. So Robin tells Cody she thinks that religion is a really intense topic for him. He gets very intense about it. And Brianna and Aurora put in their 2 cents. Brianna says Cody is intimidating, but she doesn't think Cody realizes it. I'm sure living under Cody's roof, these girls with Cody's moods and resentment and anger have to walk on eggshells constantly. Aurora talked to Cody about religion beforehand. She asked a lot of general questions, but she says her mom and dad, they have different strengths with how they process and how they communicate about things. So she prefers to go to her mom. Brianna knows Cody is intense and he's always going to give an unfiltered response. She says she appreciates it. If she really appreciates it, she would have no problem talking to him. She appreciates it, but notice she's too intimidated to talk to him when he's intense. So basically, boiled down, in my opinion, these girls have to walk on eggshells big time to live under Cody's roof. Cody thinks the girls skipped over him and they avoided him. They went straight to Robin to avoid getting a lecture about religion from him. Robin tells Cody she doesn't know. She doesn't know, but she assures Cody her girls think he is safe. Cody adds that you cannot just be conforming to everybody else because then you are really not developing real faith. I found that interesting. You know, Cody says you can't conform, but what was Cody demanding of his wives for him to be willing to work on their marriages and participate as a father and a husband? Cody demanded, conform to make the marriages work. Submit to patriarchy. We will have a real marriage. Be obedient, and I will participate in this marriage. He demanded the family conform to his dictates during COVID. But when it comes to Cody, when it comes to his convenience, when he wants to sit on his soapbox and preach, he warns, you can't conform and develop real faith. But Cody demanded his wives conform to his dictates if they expected to still have a real marriage with him that he was investing in. So I found that interesting. Cody suggests, find Buddha, study Jesus, find Jesus. He wants the girls to have experience that helps love grow in them. And he thinks this journey of them finding their faith will give them that. So Robin tells Cody that they need to experience it for themselves. And she adds that the idea of pressuring them into their church wasn't important. When Robin saw other parents doing that with their kids, she says she would think in her mind that it was messed up. She always wanted her kids to find their own way. Yeah, they're adult women, but Cody and Robin are still controlling the fuck out of them. They still aren't even allowed to make their own choices. Now, Cody knows if he went to church with his scriptures on his lap, he would be assessing the pastor to see if he thinks they're right or wrong, and his expression would betray him. It would let everyone in the room know what he was thinking. And of course, because Cody's famous, he's a celebrity, everybody would be looking at him. Everybody would see it. So Cody says, when he was conflicted in his religion, he loved it because that drove him to his knees in prayer for understanding. Cody says he doesn't know where it got him, but he got him in a relationship in his prayers with God. So Cody says if his kids come to him confused about religion, confused about teachings, he believes from his experience, he will be happy that they are having any type of challenging experience with God, because then they will learn to talk to God, and that's what he hopes for. As long as their faith is pre-approved by he and Robin first for these adult women. So Cody tells Robin he really needs to figure out how to ride in the back seat on this to let Aurora and Brianna find their way. And Robin agrees Cody should take a back seat. So Robin tells Cody she warned her daughter she didn't want them picking a church or a church community based on just finding good-looking guys. And she told them they needed to take this seriously. It shouldn't be about boys. So Cody says he would be fine with his daughters being in the LDS church for a cute boy. He'd have no problem with that. But Robin isn't okay with that. She doesn't want her kids picking a church over a cute boy. Robin says if her daughter picks a church based on a boy and that boy is devoted to their church, her daughter would be there in church for the wrong reasons. This has me thinking. Remember when Aurora was talking about, she likes a boy or whatever? Maybe he is in some specific church, and that's why the girls are all about wanting to be in church now for some boy. I don't know why anyone watching Sister Wives would give a flying fuck about Robin's daughters or what church they choose to be on. I don't even really think they should be filming. It doesn't go with the storyline at all. It isn't interesting. It isn't really relevant to anything on the show. And every time Robin's daughters are on camera, they seem out of it and they seem incredibly uncomfortable. I just don't even think it's healthy for them to be filming. I don't think they should be filming. It really doesn't seem healthy, but that's just my opinion. Now, Cody feels the girls might find the community that gives them a social outlet. It'll give them people to date. And Cody says all he's just a knight with a sword here to protect them. What's interesting is Cody has the exact personality type that he should want to protect those girls from, in my opinion. But Cody's going to be the knight in shining armor protecting them. Cody feels because he played the knight with some of his other daughters, he got set aside by them. And Cody admits his own closed-mindedness caused him a lot of heartache. Instead of sticking his head up Robin's ass with the church thing, trying to control the whole show, Why doesn't he take the time, give Robin time with her girls to attend church since he's not interested, and give himself time to try to fix his relationships with his kids? That might be a great time for him to try and fix those other relationships. But Cody is too busy trying to protect Robin and her girls from the potential single man that Robin might meet who might be her next husband. So back to Mary in Vegas. When Cody called Mary back after the text she sent after the spiritual release, he got defensive and he was upset during that call. So Mary had texted Cody several times. She heard nothing back. All of a sudden, she gets the spiritual release. She sends this respectful message to Cody, and 20 minutes later, bam, he's on the phone. He was defensive. He was very upset. And Mary told Cody he wasn't doing this. They were where they are. It's done. There's no reason to get defensive. And she put her foot down and said she wasn't going to talk to him like this. So Mary thinks that Cody was expecting her to be different than what she was. He thinks Cody may have expected her to be snarky or mean or crying incessantly. And Mary says she has seen the last couple of years. And she's seen Cody and his exes not being on their best behavior. Mary says she has watched all three of them and she hasn't been impressed. You know what? I haven't been impressed with the way Mary treats her sister wives. Like, for example, when Janelle went out of her way to stop at her house, even though it was awkward as fuck to go there, to educate Mary and open her eyes about her getting a fair deal with the land. Mary was rude to Janelle. Mary was dismissive. And then she narked to Cody about Janelle warning her about it. So Mary may not be impressed with Christine and Cody's behavior or Janelle and Cody's behavior with each other, but Mary also isn't always at her best. It was really shitty of Mary to do that to Janelle. How she just couldn't wait to tattle on Janelle like she was in elementary school, rather than being appreciative for the heads up. Those are just my thoughts. Christine weighs in. She admits they could all do better. She thinks it would be nice if they didn't all know what they all thought about the other person. But she adds, when you've got 3 wives that leave one guy, it's going to be a mess no matter what. Now, Janelle says during the split with Cody, she tried to always be practical and logical while still defending herself and standing up for herself and for her kids. You know, I would say Janelle did that. Even when Cody made it almost impossible to be civil to him, Janelle always did her best. She did way better than I would have done. She did a great job. She's a class act. So Janelle says she is sorry if some people thought that was rude or she was wrong, but she says she's just standing up for herself. She isn't being vindictive. You know what? All we see is Janelle advocating for herself, trying to stand up for herself. She typically doesn't let her feelings and emotions take over at all. She remains logical. She remains practical. She is always intelligent. She advocates intelligently without adding much emotion in there. There is nothing wrong with the way Janelle stands up for herself. I personally find Janelle to be a class act, Christine as well. So Janelle makes it clear that she stood up for herself. She stood up for her kids. And I agree, there was nothing rude about a thing Janelle did. And Christine also did her best with Cody, in my opinion. Now, Mary's friend Brandy doesn't know why Cody cares all of a sudden, and Mary doesn't get it either. Now, again, Cody pretends to care, to manipulate, to evoke doubt and emotion in the other person. It's all bullshit. Cody doesn't care. He's just trying to be manipulative because he's a fuckface. Jen thinks that this is because Cody sensed he had no control over Mary ending it in the end. Mary took matters into her own hands. She got the spiritual release with a quickness. Now, Mary says there were a few times in that conversation on the phone where she shut Cody down and she told him she wouldn't listen to him talk to her that way. And she wasn't talking to him that way and she didn't deserve it back from him. And she would end the call if he continued like that. I'm telling you, the way to deal with someone like Cody is to treat them like a toddler in a tantrum and then completely cut off communication. Mary probably had to school him like a parent does a child to keep that conversation under control. If Mary really wanted to drive Cody crazy, when he called, she shouldn't have even answered her phone and she should have had zero communication with him. Cody wants attention, give zero, but that's just me. I wouldn't even have sent that text, frankly. Now, Brandy feels Mary went through Stockholm Syndrome with Cody. She says she was stuck, falling in love with her captor who wouldn't let her have a life. And Cody responds that this Brandy chick doesn't even know who he is. Cody says he went to dinner with her a few times, and once he helped Brandy and her husband move. He doesn't really know her, and Cody angrily wonders, do they even know me? Do they know me? Seeing this man once is all you need to get his number if you have anything going on in the space between your ears. Cody's not hard to read. These people know Cody. Cody's ego doesn't like the massive dents their commentary on him and their opinions of him has left to his ego. And Robin's just going to have to buff it all out with her best customer service routine. And it's going to be a lot for Robin to deal with, getting out the dents. My guess is these people get Cody better than Cody even understands himself. If Cody knew himself, half the toxic shit he did wouldn't have even happened. And he wouldn't be having such a hard time coming to terms with it. Cody doesn't really know or like who he is. And when people see him for who he is and it doesn't square up with how he wants to be perceived, Cody gets angry. Cody gets defensive. Cody attacks. Cody says Mary doesn't need to trash talk him anymore because she has her friends doing it for her. Again, more paranoia, more the world is out to get me from Cody. Everyone is colluding against him if they happen to have a non-favorable opinion of him. The world is against Cody, colluding against him. But what Cody fails to see is Cody did this to himself with his own toxic, emotionally abusive, manipulative behavior towards his family, towards his ex-wives, towards his kids. Cody did all of his toxicity publicly for the world to see. What we see on camera for this show probably pales in comparison to just how selfish and toxic and angry and manipulative and delusional Cody is off camera, privately in his daily life. Cody doesn't seem to understand. No one needs to shit talk him because his actions speak for themselves. His actions, his toxic behavior show the type of man he is. It shows clearly his low consciousness, his shit character. Just look at his actions. Look at his actions. Not attending his daughter's major surgery. Look at how he used the pandemic to engineer a situation where he could free himself from the obstacles to his goals in life. Referring to his family as the obstacles to his goals in life, that shows the extent of Cody's toxicity. Cody showed his ass to the world and now he wants to blame collusion and shit talking and Mary orchestrating her friends shit talking him when Cody did this to himself. And the more Cody delves into his paranoid thinking that the world is against him, the more it shows how out of touch with reality Cody is, the more it shows his lack of self-awareness, his inability to take accountability, his inability to live in the reality he created with his own toxic behavior. Not because anyone is against him, colluding against him, shit-talking him, not because people are colluding, but because of his own toxic behavior and words. Cody looks pathetic. Cody pities himself. And I still haven't ever seen a bigger coward in my life. When does it end? When does Cody realize the only path forward is to truly humble himself, to get help, and to take full accountability for his toxicity? When does Cody stop blaming the world when he's the one who did this to himself with his own toxic behavior? Cody thinks people talk behind his back because Cody behaved in ways he can't square with who he thought he was as a person. Behind that fragile ego is a world of insecurity. And when Cody gets paranoid and delusional and resentful like this, blaming Mary's friends, all it does is showcase Cody's insecurity and cowardice. How pathetic that this man makes himself the victim. Cody feels bad for himself. No one would have anything negative to say about Cody if Cody didn't behave in ways that are absolutely toxic and deplorable. In my opinion, Cody has a perception of himself attached to his ego that is much different from the reality and how he acted, his toxic behavior, and the consequences of those toxic behavior. So people thinking negatively of him doesn't square with how he esteems himself. And he feels some type of disparity there. When he feels that uncomfortable dissonance between how he esteems himself and what people think of him, he blames everyone else for it rather than looking inward, feeling the weight, feeling the guilt, and taking accountability for his own toxicity. Cody's dissonance, his inability to own his shit, is no one's fault but his own. Telling the truth isn't shit talking. Cody struggles to come to terms with not being seen as the great guy he thinks he is. So he's blaming others and he plays the victim. But at some point, Cody needs to put on his big boy panties and get out of those pull-ups. It's safe to say today is not the day, and I don't think it's happening this year or probably ever. But maybe one day Cody will man up and prove the world wrong. I don't think so, but maybe. You never know. Now, Cody says Mary's friends don't know him. He insists they don't know him. Mary says something else. She says she and Cody and Brandy and her husband went on double dates very often. They met Jen even before they lived in the cul-de-sac, when they still lived in the separate rentals in Vegas. So Mary says this narrative that her friends don't really know Cody or he doesn't know them, that's inaccurate. So Mary tells her friends she loved Cody and she still loves Cody. She just wasn't willing to do it anymore. Mary explains she doesn't think it was Stockholm Syndrome. She says she committed, they were going to work it out through the good times, the bad times, whatever. They were going to work it out. She was committed. And she explains the reason that she stayed so long was purely because of her and her commitment. So back to doom and gloom in Flagstaff on their romantic date, Cody asks Robin if they need to do any cleanup on their relationship or if they are just going to be talking about religion for their girls. So Robin wanted to make sure that Cody is cool with her wanting to go to church with her girls. She tells Cody she needs it, and she explains to Cody that obviously they don't have their church nearby, but she doesn't think Cody would be interested in that anyway. So Cody tells Robin that's not a safe place for him. And he says most religion says that you have to stick to this doctrine, and if you don't, then you're an apostate, you're evil, God can't accept you. So Cody mentions that his church told him he has to cut his hair, and his response was, give me a break. Listen, in my opinion, this isn't about the church pushing Cody to rid himself of that ramen mop. Cody is pissed that the church elders told Mary the spiritual release was granted based on Cody's abandonment of her. And I think that pissed Cody off. And I think Cody not getting the support from his church when he went public pissed him off. And I think Cody thought he would be a hero in their church. And I think the church wasn't happy with Cody, the way he behaved on the show. They weren't happy with the show itself. And they probably weren't happy with the way Cody treated his ex-wives and his children. Cody now wants to say, oh, it's the church. They wanted me to cut my hair. It's culty. He doesn't like the church. They asked him to cut his hair, blah, blah, blah. But in the end, Cody is insulted that the church has his number. And my guess is he probably isn't too welcome there with the way he treated his wives and kids in this plural marriage. Christine's family was very high up in the church. Christine was polygamy royalty. And Cody treated Christine like shit. Cody manipulated the fuck out of Christine, and he admitted that he married Christine because of her church clout. She was polygamist royalty, and of course, Cody's ego wanted to elevate himself in that church circle, and he married her for that reason. And then he treated her like shit. Cody did the show. Cody made an ass of himself. And then he blamed the church and he blamed plural marriage. He blamed this and he blamed that. When in reality, everything really fell apart because Cody is a neglectful, narcissistic, selfish, insecure, coward of a man baby who is toxic, who manipulates, who prioritizes his own convenience and what he wants over the needs and well-being of his wives and kids and his plural family. Cody is the problem in this situation. Cody's personality is the problem. Cody's behavior is the problem. But Cody has to blame everything and everyone else, anything he can, rather than taking accountability. Now, in my opinion, that church is hateful. It's racist. There is a lot of misogyny. It's rooted in patriarchy. It is culty any way you slice it. But in this situation, the church isn't the problem. Polygamy isn't the easiest or healthiest lifestyle. It's not something I would ever do. But in this situation, polygamy wasn't the problem. The church wasn't the problem. In this situation, in my opinion, the breakdown of this family rested on Cody, but Cody doesn't want to own it. It's extra pathetic that he's now making it about his barely there hair that his church wanted him to get rid of. Cody goes on and on about his hair. That really burned him that they wanted him to get rid of that hair. And Cody says the elders are all disciples of Brigham Young, and Brigham Young had long hair and a long beard. So Cody says, please. He's pissed that they wanted him to cut his hair. Now, Robin says she knows Cody doesn't have a very positive attitude or opinion about their church. Robin knows how Cody feels. She's heard it a lot. She's heard it incessantly. So Robin asks Cody if he's okay with her adult daughters going to church. And Cody says yes. And then Robin asks him if he's okay with her going to church with them. And she asks if Cody will have some sort of problem with them going or with any of their choices. Cody shouldn't even be consulted. Aurora and Brianna at their ages should be able to explore independently as grown women without consulting mommy and daddy. They don't need mommy to go with them to hold their hand. Cody says they can go as long as they are including him, as long as they aren't blocking him out. Cody wants to come too. See, didn't I tell you Cody would never trust Robin going to church alone with her girls? I think Cody knows that there's potential for Robin to meet a man in church. He already knows that she's crying on the bathroom floor on Christmas Eve. She's already losing major respect for Cody. So now Cody wants to go to involve himself just to keep tabs on Robin because, in my opinion, he doesn't trust her. You know, I thought they had this divine love, this soulmates relationship. You would think if that were true that Cody would trust Robin to go wherever she likes alone with her girls. Instead, Cody seems worried. Cody seems to want to insert himself. Robin seems annoyed that Cody is interested in going. So Cody tells Robin he doesn't want her to go to church too long without him because he doesn't want anybody there thinking that she's a single mom. And Cody says lots of men are interested in Robin. In what? In what? The turd curls, the meat cleaver eyebrows, the Mount Vesuvius chin and jaw, the smell of desperation, her imaginary friend Shira she talks to in her mind. I'm sure Goblin will just have to swat the men away. They're going to be waiting around the block for her. She probably already has a vision board tucked away, hidden from Cody, of what she wants in her next husband that she'll meet at church. Cody seems really suffocating in relationships. He seems insecure with his divine angel. If he really loved her, if it was really a soulmates vibe, Cody would be 100% secure in Robin and her going to church, and he would have no issue having her go to church alone with her girls. He wouldn't interfere or want to involve himself if he's not really genuinely interested in church. I think he knows Robin is unhappy, and he knows Robin is also legal wife. And I think he knows Robin won't hesitate to leave his ass if someone better came along. And at this point, let's face it, any man is better than Cody. And Cody knows it, or he wouldn't be rushing to attend church with her when he knows he's really not interested at all. Cody says all these men tried to go around him to get to Robin. And Robin has mentioned several times on the show that she had other men ask to marry her, and she claims she said no because they were monogamous and she wanted Cody and polygamy. Now, in my opinion, Robin always wanted to be famous. Robin drove like 5 hours to get to that church where Cody would be. And I think she knew she wanted security for herself. She wanted security for her kids. And I think she did anything she could do to get it. And I think she wouldn't mind being on a TLC show. Now, in Becoming Sister Wives, we learn that Robin really put the pressure on Cody. She let him know she was still a hot commodity many men sought after. Cody writes in Becoming Sister Wives, I had been planning to ask Robin to marry me on her birthday, but I jumped the gun. A few days before her birthday, she told me that an older and esteemed man in our faith had called to inquire about courting her. This was a shock to my system. I was devastated. I didn't have the money to marry and support Robin, but I knew that I would have to find a way. Even though Robin told the man she knew where she belonged, I was still shaken. The next day, Robin and I drove back out to Thanksgiving Point. As we sat there talking, I was overcome with what I believed was God's Spirit. God's Spirit or his little brain, his juices were flowing for the first time in decades, who knows? Before I knew what I was doing, I took her hand and asked her to marry me. So Robin let Cody know he better seal the deal and quick. That's why she mentioned it to him. Robin has mentioned multiple times on the show that she had several different proposals, and she said no to all of them because she wanted to live polygamy and she wanted Cody. You know, now that she is in a monogamous relationship with Kotex, she really may be wishing she went another route and chose someone else. Cody tells Robin the first time he saw her was in their church. They made that gaze, that connection. Robin disagrees. She says she's the one who initiated the gaze. No, Cody! Oh, Cody! Ah! It was me! It was me, Cody! Ah! Oh, my God, Cody! So Cody says no. He remembers what happened, and he looked longer than he should have. He initiated the look, vomited in my mouth, and by the time Cody looked away, he thought it was inappropriate because he was looking at her for so long, and he thought Robin was most likely married. He says the first time he saw his angel, the first time he ever laid eyes on her cap in hand, he was leaning over the back of a chair in church, just talking to a neighbor behind him. They locked eyes, and Cody says he just couldn't break away. This is so pathetic. Is this like a junior high, romance novel? And what was Robin lured by? The receding hairline, the ramen hair, the cheesy used car salesman, fake charisma, or the prospect of a TLC show? Cody wants to know how Robin perceived that big moment when they locked eyes. He wants to know how badly Robin wanted him. My guess is Robin went home, she made a vision board, she did some voodoo dolls to manifest her rise out of debt into a home paid for off of the backs of her sister wives. But here, Robin is all smiles, just feeding that ego. She tells Cody she knows how much he likes hearing this. Cody seems so insecure. It's annoying. Cody's so fucking creepy and suffocating and needy, obnoxious as fuck to the max. So Cody says he wants to know that God has been his wingman with her and that nobody can take her away from him. You guys see just how weak and insecure Cody is? The second there was potential for Robin to go to church alone without him with her girls, Cody began to worry. He's worried there's potential for somebody to take her away from him. He worries. He's begun to worry. Well, what if she leaves? What if she throws me under the bus? What if she takes all my coins? And I think Cody knows it's a real possibility. So I think we're really going to see a man suddenly reinvested in God and whatever church the girls gravitate to, so that Cody can keep an eye on Robin so he can keep control. This relationship between Cody and Robin isn't based on love. This is about control. This is transactional. Cody doesn't trust his angel cap in hand. If he loved Robin, if he truly trusted her, if he was truly secure in the relationship, there would be no doubt in his mind with letting his wife and her girls go out and do their own thing, with letting them pursue church with her adult daughters there with her. Cody isn't interested, and he's going to go just because he doesn't trust his wife, in my opinion. Robin's already losing respect for Cody. Cody knows that. Just wait until she sees her options at church. Just wait. Robin says she was sitting with her cousin in church, looking around, and she looked at Cody. And what caught her eye in seeing Cody was his laugh lines, because Robin says she loves laugh lines. And Cody looked at her, and a bolt of lightning shot through her body. This is so fucking pathetic. Like, what the fuck? So Cody points up and he thanks God for his goblin. This is really cringe. This is cringe. This is pathetic. It feels really performative, like Robin is just doing this to feed that fragile wisp of an ego after Cody was fishing for this response. It is really sad. It is really sad. Robin says she saw Cody for the first time at church. She got her lightning bolt, and a month later, randomly, she met Cody and Mary on her cousin's lawn. Cody seems very insecure, jealous, controlling, and possessive. He tells Robin he doesn't want some guy at church looking at her, holding her gaze the way he did. What a controlling, insecure little twat Cody is. If Cody really felt secure in Robin and his relationship with her, and this was really a soulmates thing, this wouldn't even be a thought, concern, or worry in his mind. Wow is all I have to say. As a woman in a relationship, I would find it incredibly off-putting if my boyfriend was insecure and I had to keep reassuring him verbally over and over that I was into them, that I was happy. That would feel suffocating as fuck. And to me, that's a sign that things aren't right in a relationship. Cody doesn't trust Robin to go to church and keep her legs closed. He thinks there is potential for her to maybe sneak around and find someone. And he doesn't seem to trust Robin on setting her own boundaries for herself as a clearly married woman. And that says so much about this divine romance. So Cody is going to go to church to guard Robin, and he says he is protecting Robin. And Robin tells Cody she would tell a guy leering at her that she's married. She would show him the ring. You know, Robin, I'm not trying to be rude. Robin is no supermodel. She's no head turner other than maybe in a church full of these people who are inbred swimming in a very small gene pool. It's very odd. It's very possessive. It's very creepy that Cody thinks this way, or that rather than Robin finding it creepy, she seems to appreciate it. Robin shows off her ring and she tells Cody not to worry, she'll wear the ring as she holds up her hand. And Cody adds that he wanted to make sure the bling was big enough that guys would see it and stay away. Cody says even though he has anxieties about it, he feels pretty open-minded. And they don't know what's going to happen. And he says it's part of the adventure of life. He trusts God enough to lead them where they should go. You know, basically what Cody's saying is whether he is down with the religion or not, he's going to go just to cock block Robin just in case. He doesn't seem to trust Robin. I feel like Cody feels he has to be there just in case a real man who would be a better husband and a better opportunity for Robin pops up for her in church. So Cody's going to go to church himself for the wrong reasons. Earlier, Robin was concerned that if her girls were going to church for guys, that's the wrong reason to be there. But Cody is going just to gatekeep Robin because he doesn't trust her and he's an insecure coward. He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't give a fuck about this. He doesn't want to explore religions. Cody is just going to oversee his wife because he obviously doesn't trust her at all. But they're soulmates, guys. Back in Vegas, Brandy, Jen, and Mary are still talking. And Brandy says in the past she would defend Cody when people would say negative things about him. And Mary mentions that Cody helped her move to Utah on their 33rd wedding anniversary. Mary says it was a good day. And Jen says it was very emotional, and she tells Brandy how Cody had a full-on breakdown. That wasn't a breakdown. That was a coddle me, pity me, feel sorry for me, manipulative moment as a parting gift for Cody to plant a seed of doubt in Mary's mind because Cody is a fuckface. And Jen says that the breakdown felt very strong. It was very emotional. And Jen wondered how it was even possible that Cody broke down like that because of all the hard things Cody has said over the years and publicly. So Mary is still confused about it. And she says Cody walked out of the door and she was left wondering if she did the wrong thing here. That's exactly the result Cody wanted. Jen adds that Mary is more forgiving and patient than most people see. And she kept telling herself and Mary that she felt like, as a monogamist, she thinks Mary should have told Cody to get the hell out of her life completely. Amen. Exactly. So Jen knows Mary isn't at that place yet. Brandy always thought this, and Mary always disregarded it, but she always saw Cody favor Robin. Mary points out that she doesn't believe that Robin entered the family with the intention of kicking the other wives out. She thinks Robin saw what they had at that time and that Robin wanted that. Mary says she really believes that. Okay, Mary. Brandy doesn't get how Cody used COVID as an excuse for why he had to stay at Robin's house all the time. Well, Cody used the pandemic as a vehicle to engineer an excuse to live the life he wanted, basically free from his obstacles, living the goal of monogamy with Robin. In my opinion, Cody took the pandemic as an opportunity to intentionally push everyone away to live out his dream at a time when his family really needed him the most. Cody's a selfish man who will manipulate a situation any way he has to get what he wants and to have his convenience. Hurt, suffering, sadness, resentment, bad feelings, ruined relationships. It's all nothing in comparison to Cody living his dream with Robin and getting what he wants. Robin all to himself. But Cody's dream is going to morph into Robin's nightmare in time. It's already happening. And I think Kotex knows it. Mary feels Cody had his reasoning with COVID. She says he said he wanted to keep his family safe. And he wanted to keep his little kids safe. And Brandy says it doesn't make sense. She feels it was favoritism and that's it. Of course, I would agree. And Jen says for 2 years, Mary did every single thing Cody asked her to do, especially with the COVID protocols. And the response from Robin when Cody wanted to allow Mary to come over was, "Oh, we can't favor you. We can't look like we're favoring you." And Jen wonders why not, because Mary was following the protocols. That's a great point. Now, to be fair, Cody did want Mary to be welcomed in his home with Robin. He knew she was safe. And Robin was the one who refused to put her foot down. After Robin got everything she wanted from Mary, in my opinion, Robin no longer gave a fuck about Mary. She didn't even pretend to care about Mary for appearance's sake. That's how little love and respect Robin had for Mary. Mary who sacrificed her legal marriage for her and her kids. Mary was told, "Oh, we can't favor you. You can't be invited." So Jen wonders what Mary following Cody's protocols even mattered in the end. Brandy points out that is gaslighting. I couldn't agree more. These women, Jen and Brandy, really have Mary's back. They have Cody's number. They see what's up and they don't hesitate to say it. And they don't hesitate to be there to fully support Mary. Mary gives more insight into her relationship with Robin. She says that with Robin, she feels like she's put in a lot of effort. She's invested a lot, especially over COVID. She felt like she was the one who was always calling and it wasn't being reciprocated. And she really believes that a relationship has to be reciprocal. And with Robin, it wasn't reciprocal. Truth, facts. I'm glad Mary is saying it. So Jen brings up Mary's mom's funeral. And Mary says that was hard. The fact that Robin didn't come to her mom's funeral and support her in that way, in that time, that was very hurtful to Mary. So Mary says they were following the COVID rules and she felt bad about that. She understood in a way, but Cody still ended up going without Robin. So Mary says the whole thing was confusing to her and she was very taken aback by Robin refusing to attend. Janelle and Mary have a lot of history and they have a lot of bad blood between them. And even during COVID, Janelle traveled to go to Mary's mom's funeral. Janelle is a classy lady, and no matter what, Janelle always tries to do the right thing. Even with the land, it was very awkward for Janelle to go to Mary's house, and she went to talk to Mary to open her eyes when Mary really isn't a safe person for her. What did Mary do? Instead of being grateful and appreciative for Janelle, she took the opportunity to narc to Cody the first chance she got. Maybe Mary should appreciate Janelle more, but that's just a thought. Robin, of course, is full of excuses as to why she couldn't be there for the funeral of the mother of her beloved sister wife who sacrificed her legal marriage for her. Robin didn't go because she doesn't actually give a fuck about Mary, in my opinion. And I think she really wasn't willing to inconvenience herself, period. She didn't need anything from Mary at that time, and Robin's relationship with Mary, the quote-unquote friendship, was all transactional for Robin, in my opinion. Robin says Cody went because they couldn't both quarantine away from the kids for that long, and she didn't have the option during this time to go. Robin says, Mary's mom's funeral, that wasn't the only thing she missed. She missed all kinds of things, like Avalon's birth. Her dad was very ill in the hospital. But you know what? Robin FaceTimed for Avalon's birth. I'm sure she video chatted often with her dad. Did Robin make any effort at all to be there for Mary? Mary sacrificed everything for this woman. Robin had a nanny. Robin has family. Was there really no way on earth for her to reciprocate and make the sacrifice for Mary, who gave so much over the years? Mary sacrificed a lot for Robin. The legal marriage, she was the one who facilitated bringing Robin into the family. She supported Robin with My Sister Wives Closet. She put a lot of time into Robin's dream of My Sister Wives Closet and more. And what did Robin give back other than some shitty porcelain sisters figurine one Christmas and a creepy, ugly journal to write down the dreams that Robin stole from Mary and the family? What has Robin given back? Because so far, I see nothing. Robin says she loved Bonnie and she wanted to support Mary, but COVID prevented her from being there. Otherwise, if it wasn't for COVID, she would have been there in a heartbeat. Sure, Robin. Jen adds that it's always, I'm there for you. I'll always be there for you. There have been multiple times where Robin hasn't been there for Mary, but Mary has still been there for her. Not to mention how Robin used Mary over the years as her emotional support human. Robin's gross, and if this is how Robin treats her so-called friends, I don't want to see how she does her enemies. Mary quit calling and texting Robin because she was the only one doing it, and Mary says when she stopped the communication, it really wasn't meant to be mean. She needed this to be reciprocal if it's going to be a relationship, and it wasn't reciprocal with Robin, so she just gave up. Mary doesn't know what happened behind the scenes with Robin. What happened, in my opinion, is Robin is a master manipulator and Robin is an opportunist, and she was friendly to Mary when she needed things from Mary. Once she took all she wanted, she stopped even pretending to make an effort with Mary, even just for appearance's sake. Mary sacrificed a lot, and Robin dipped her baby toe in the pool. Mary dove in head first, expecting Robin to be genuine, and Robin used the fuck out of Mary, and it sucks. But the good news is Mary has Jen, Mary has Brandy, Mary has Blair, Mary has Andrea, Mary has Hannah, and probably a bunch of other friends who actually love and support her, who actually reciprocate. Robin did Mary dirty, and I wonder how many friends Robin has. Jen feels everybody contributed to the situation, knowing everything she knows that she thinks Robin did. There are a lot of factors for the downfall of the family. Jen thinks there are things Robin did with the downfall of Mary's own marriage as well. Jen says Mary did a good job of staying out of everyone else's marriage, and not everyone else did a good job of staying out of Mary's marriage. Now, we know Cody apologized for stringing Mary along for all those years, and he basically says he did it to appease Robin, and Robin was putting a lot of pressure on Cody to continue with Mary even after he knew it was done. In my opinion, it's Cody's fault for disrespecting Mary like that, but Robin also enabled the toxicity, and it was really fucked up of her to do to Mary. We also don't know how involved Robin was in the catfish situation with her friend Kendra. I have a feeling Robin was way more involved than she lets on. And we all know how manipulative Robin is behind the scenes and how much she likes to triangulate things and be involved in things. Mary knows a lot was said about her. So Jen mentions that they were on the property. They were having this breakup conversation, she and Cody and Robin, and she's frustrated with what happened. And she wants Mary to tell the story to Brandy about what Cody said in front of Nathan and Rebecca. So Mary says she and Cody had their breakup conversation out on the property. Robin was there too. How could we forget? And they flash back to Robin hijacking things, making it about herself. And Robin cries. She starts apologizing incessantly, and she gets up, storming off in tears, wanting a ton of attention. And Mary says Robin was upset about the conversation, and she stood up and she walked away. So Mary laughs hysterically as she tells Brandy she doesn't understand Cody. Because later on, Cody told Mary, "Oh, poor Robin. Oh, that was so hard on Robin." This is Mary breaking up with her husband of 30 plus years, and Cody saying, "Oh, it was so hard on Robin." What the fuck? Is Mary chopped liver? Cody's obsessed with Robin. Everything is about his angel cap in hand from her perspective. Even the moment he breaks up with Mary, his ex-wife of 30 plus years, the mother of his kid, he empathizes with how hard it is for Robin with the breakup. How hard it is for Robin, his breakup with Mary. What about Mary's feelings? Even Mary's breakup is about Robin for Cody. How fucking insulting was that? Do you know what that reminds me of? Princess Diana once did an interview about her divorce, and she mentioned how when she was engaged to Charles, she was dating King Charles, the paparazzi hounded her incessantly, nonstop. They hounded her, they followed her everywhere, and nobody helped her. But Charles mentioned to Princess Diana, "Oh, poor Camilla, there's 1 or 2 paparazzi cars out in front of her house." He should have been concerned with and protective of Princess Diana. Instead, he was concerned about one paparazzi guy in front of his mistress's house. This is the same type of one-track mind and cap in hand type of thinking. Cody's obsessed with Robin. Ending his marriage with Mary, he could only have empathy for how hard it was on Robin. It's beyond fucked up. So, in a flashback scene, Cody tells Mary that he thinks it's fair for he and her to have a conversation about their marriage without Robin there involved in it. You think? At what point did Robin marry Mary? Mary married Cody, not Cody and Robin. Is Cody really too much of a coward to be able to talk with his ex-wife alone, who was with him for over 30 years? Robin has to always be there to spin things, to coddle, to hold his hand, to manipulate. Cody refers to Robin as a poor girl. He says that whole talk, the breakup conversation that should have just been between Mary and Cody in the first place. Oh, poor girl. Oh, that just wrecked Robin. The whole thing wrecked Robin. Never mind Mary and her feelings. The end of Cody and Mary's marriage is about Robin. Poor thing. Oh, it wrecked her. Mary's feelings are of no consequence to Cody. Even something solely about Mary and Cody becomes about Robin through Robin's point of view. Robin was probably in elementary school when Mary and Cody got married. But never mind that. Cody and Mary started this whole thing together. But never mind that. Robin, oh, poor girl, it just wrecked her. Even the end of Cody and Mary's marriage is about Robin. And during that breakup conversation, when Robin didn't get the attention she wanted, she cried and stormed off, praying Cody would run after her to comfort her. What a manipulative bitch Robin is. She didn't even respect Mary enough to allow Cody and Mary to have that private moment alone, to have that conversation alone. As always, she wanted her emotions to take center stage. And when Robin cried and got up like that, apologizing a million times to draw attention to herself, in her mind, I believe she was expecting Cody and Mary to stop everything to cater to her. I found it to be pathetic, and I found it to be incredibly disrespectful of Mary. So Mary and her friends are laughing at this as Mary says that there's more. And she mimics Cody saying, "Poor girl, oh, it was so hard on Robin, poor Robin." And Mary says when Cody said that, she was looking at Cody thinking, yeah, it was hard on me too. Mary isn't discounting how hard it was on Robin, but she feels it's like Cody is completely discounting her and the fact that she and he started this family together. Jen adds that maybe if Mary would have cried, Cody would have taken it seriously. Brandy thinks Cody's weird. Mary says that whole conversation was weird. And Brandy wonders why Cody is so stupid. I think that's a great question. Cody is stupid as fuck. Brandy feels if Cody happened to meet a girl that cries all the time the way Robin does, that Robin would feel very threatened by that. I would agree. Robin uses her emotions as a way to manipulate, as a way to deflect, as a way to put all the attention back on her. It seems to me that Robin feels her emotions are more important than everyone else's. And it seems like she expects when she cries or shows some type of emotion that everyone's going to stop everything to run to coddle her like she's a little toddler at 50 plus. I think the whole thing's pathetic. Mary finds humor in it. That's how we know she's healing. Mary finds it amusing. She lets Cody know here that it was hard on her too, and there were already a lot of tears shed over the years. And Mary says Cody didn't care about it. Cody didn't give a fuck about Mary, and I think Mary finally gets that now. And I think she knows now how ridiculous Cody is, and she can laugh at it. So Mary is definitely on the road to healing. At this point, Mary and her friends head to the cul-de-sac to get Mary some closure. Mary finds it really weird to go back. It looks very different, and she says they had such a dream when they moved to Vegas, and it was really sad when they left Vegas. Robin has been back to the cul-de-sac herself a few times, and she wonders a lot if they would have stayed together if they stayed in Vegas. Christine has been back to the cul-de-sac once, and she says it was hard and it was sad for her. I really don't get all of this going back to the past. I don't get being this sentimental, going back to the past, putting yourself through this. It's like torture. Maybe for some people they enjoy it. It gives them some kind of closure or whatever. I don't care if it was happy times or sad times. I say just leave the past in the past. All we have is now. I wouldn't go back to torture myself with the past. Good or bad, why go back to the past to put yourself through that? Janelle has never been back to the cul-de-sac. She says she hasn't had any inclination to go, and she feels the chapter is closed. She doesn't need to go back and see the location. But she knows some people in the family have found it healing to go back. So Mary goes, and she feels very anxious at the cul-de-sac. It's awkward. It's weird. She doesn't want to stay long. She knows she's done. She's past it. She's beyond it. In my opinion, Mary's going to heal just fine. She was the happiest we have ever seen her on the show in Europe, especially when she visited Stonehenge. And I think she's really at the point where she can laugh at how stupid and ridiculous Cody is with her friends. And if you can laugh, you're golden. So I think Mary's going to heal. Mary's going to be fine. Mary adds that she got married once, she's been divorced twice, and she wonders how many people can say that. She finds herself an anomaly, and she finds that amusing, and it's really great to see Mary laugh. I look forward to seeing all these women happy moving forward with their lives as Cody and Robin live under their cloud of doom and gloom for eternity in their goblin's lair. That does it for this episode. I'll be back the week after next for the next episode of Sister Wives. Sister Wives Season 19, Episode 15, Faith Can Move Mountains, where Robin's adult daughters are looking at different non-Mormon churches and Cody interferes with his 2 cents. Also, Cody bitches that Janelle and Christine were jealous of Robin, and Robin whines that she feels like she has been gaslit like crazy. Listen, Robin and Cody have been the king and queen of gaslighting the fuck out of Cody's kids, his ex-wives, and viewers around the world. I have had enough of hearing Robin play the victim. It's utterly pathetic, and the fact that Robin feels comfortable playing the victim on repeat only shows the low level of maturity, self-awareness, and intelligence she is working with. Anyone who has just a shred of dignity and self-respect would just stop. I've really never seen 2 sorrier people than these 2 on a reality show. Both of them are just completely devoid of morals, consciousness, maturity, intellect, and self-awareness. And the fact that they continue on with the same broken record thinking they're going to sell their bullshit, it just shows exactly how out of touch with reality and how mentally and emotionally limited they are. They really look and seem pathetic, and they still continue on with their same bullshit narrative, showing their asses to the world week after week. Is it really worth the TLC paycheck to embarrass themselves this much? Some people just lack self-respect and dignity, and these really aren't things one can learn, especially at their ages. Also next week, Christine tries on her dream dress, and she gets the bridal shower she never experienced when she married Kotex. Have a Merry Christmas, guys. Have a wonderful holiday. Thanks so much for listening, and I will see you soon. Bye.